In this demonstration, I'll explain to you the significance of different folders that you're currently seeing in the Solution Explorer. So first of all, the most essential folders, you can notice folders like content, for example. When I expand the content folder, you will see all your CSS files under the content folder. And when you expand controllers, and this is where you see your controller classes. And of course, font files can be found inside the fonts folder. And currently this application is not using any modal, so that's why the modals folder is empty. Tomorrow when we learn how we can work with our own models, we'll be placing our models into this special folder. And under the scripts folder, you will see a lot of Java jQuery .js files here, including bootstrap and all. So all JS files should be put inside the scripts folder. MVC is all about conventions over configurations. So as we are learning any design pattern software, obviously there will be some rules and regulations while you're trying to place your files or while you're trying to name your files. So as per those configuration rules, the files must be put into the appropriate folder. Under views, you will basically find the view files. So as in future, when I create the views, I'll be placing those view files under this folder. And also you can notice there is a very special file called as global.asax, which is obviously the starting point when you run your application. You can notice there's a class called as MVC application, and that's been inherited from the HTTP application class. And there's a very special function that will be executed when you start your application. So basically here we'll be registering certain things. We will be learning what exactly are areas, what are actually filters, what is routing engine of MVC, and what is basically register bundles will do. So in the application start, all these things will happen when you actually run your application. So where are these area registration, filter config, or route config, or bundle config? These are all coming from. You can notice obviously area registration belongs to system.web.mvc.area registration, whereas filter config belongs to intro to mvc5.filter config. That means my own namespace. So where do I see these special classes? If we can expand the app start folder, you can notice there's a bundle config, and there's a filter config, and there's a route config. So basically from the application start, we're actually calling these three functions what are already been written in these class files. So if I open the filter config, you can see there's a class called as filter config under our namespace, and that has got a very special function called as register global filters, and where one of the filter has already been handled by us. It's a pre-written code. At this point of time, it's pretty early for us to see what these things are all about, but you will be learning as we do more examples. Similarly, in the route config, you can actually define your routing mechanism. And then in the bundle config, there are a lot of JS files which can be bundled together. So again, what exactly is minification and bundling of the JS files, you'll understand in the future examples. But for the time being, you should understand in this very special global.asx file, inside the application start method, you actually do certain startup things. And that is how I have just explained to you the significance of different folders in MVC project folder structure. So now we know exactly what is app start folder, what is content folder for keeping the CSS files, and this is where you keep all your controllers and font files, models, your JS files, and all the views can be here. And we also have seen what is the significance of the global.asx file. Also, when you try to open the packages.config, you can see the list of all the packages along with their IDs and versions. Of course, you can notice for the MVC, the version is 5.2.3. This is another way of figuring it out which version of MVC your project is actually using by checking in the packages.config. Also, when you expand when you open the web.config file, even here you should be able to see the MVC version that your project is using. So that is how in this demonstration we have just looked at the significance of different folders.